Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today guys, here we are to continue my AFL 2023 round previews, and in today's video I'm going to be previewing every game of round 19 of the 2023 AFL season. And in today's video we've got some massive games coming up in round 19. In this video I'm going to be previewing all the action as well as going through last round, the ladder, the predicted ladder at the end of the rounds, the Cold Medal race. Let's go ahead right into things. Round 18, we're going to review last round first of all. Last Thursday night game of the year, unfortunately enough, but yeah, it was the Swans that won the game by 2 points. Melbourne defeated Brisbane by 1 point on the Friday night and won the games of the year. Collingwood defeated Freo by 46. Gold Coast defeated St Kilda by 26. Carlton defeated Port Adelaide by 50. Geelong defeated Essendon by 77. GWS defeated Adelaide in the upset of the round by 14 points. Hawthorn defeated North comfortably by 48, and then Richmond defeated West Coast by 38 in Perth. Round 19 now got some absolutely cracking contests, and it starts on the Friday night. Yes, as I said, unfortunately enough, no more Thursday night games for the year, but Friday night, Essendon and the Western Bulldogs, and this game's going to tell us a lot, and I just know it. I just know this is one of the games that's going to tell us a lot, and probably, potentially, only one of these clubs might make finals. And I mean, I still feel like the Dogs and the Dons both have easy enough fixtures to rack up enough wins and get into the top 8, both of them. But look, there's a bunch of other clubs. There's a whole swarm below. Carlton are one of them. Richmond are another one of them. And then there's still some sides like Adelaide, Gold Coast, Giants still all below them as well, snapping right at them. So they put it, and there will be a loser this round that puts a foot wrong and will probably finish outside. Well, the loser will be outside the 8 by the end of the round, especially with that chasing pack. Now, Essendon are 8th, Western Bulldogs are in 7th, and both these two sides this year as well, when they've had some really big opportunities, have been disappointing. And last week, Essendon was probably one of their worst performances of the year. And the Western Bulldogs, they let a huge opportunity slip last week to the Western Bulldogs. So whenever the Dogs have had their chances, they haven't quite stood up, I don't think, and that they need to stand up in this game. They need to, and I think they will. I think they're going to get the job done. I think they're going to win by 13 points, but yeah, it's 8th versus 7th. Could go either way. First game Saturday, Richmond versus Hawthorn at the MCG. Now, Hawthorn last week, brilliant win over North Melbourne. Again, accuracy wasn't their friend on the day, and nor was it for Richmond either against West Coast. But again, they're going back to Hawthorn. They just played really well and comfortably defeated North Melbourne. But Richmond, again, pretty similar, comfortably defeated West Coast. Scoreboard wasn't, kicking wasn't their friend either, but again, though, still managed to get the job done. So both these two sides are coming off of really comfortable wins, and not absolutely smashing, but they're coming off of really, really, really good and comfortable wins. Now, Hawthorn have been the team to surprise this year. They've been the team which upset, and they will probably snare a couple more throughout the rest of the year, and will definitely finish off the year better than what most people thought they would have at the start of the year. Now, Richmond need to win this game. They're in 11th. They're part of that surging pack, and in all honesty here, they need percentage as well. And I think they're going to do both. Richmond are in 11th, Hawthorn are in 16th. I think they're going to win and get percentage. I think it'll be Richmond by 32 points. It's not a huge win, but a big enough win. So now we go to the second Saturday afternoon, and it is at Marvel Stadium. It is Carlton versus West Coast. Carlton, boy, they're on a roll. They've knocked off Port Adelaide, who were winning 13 in a row at the time, and they did it most of the game without Harry Mackay as well. But look, their whole team is just rocking and rolling now, and they're looking really good. And if they do make finals, you probably don't want to be playing them for sure. You definitely don't want to be playing this club in finals because, look, they had a very rough patch middle of the year, and yes, there weren't any excuses, and they were against tougher opponents, and now they're getting a few easier ones, and they're taking full advantage of it. But look, they're playing really well. They've won their last 4 games, 14, 16, 17, 18 by 50 plus points against Freo, Port, Hawthorn, and Gold Coast. And now this presents with a really good opportunity here to smash another team. And look, West Coast, again, another very decent effort at home, but unfortunately enough, couldn't quite get the 4 points. And look, it's 10th versus 18th. It'll be Carlton. The margin is just the only thing left. And look, sorry West Coast fans, but I think Carlton are on a roll, and I think they get a huge win here by 110 points. So now we go to the Saturday twilight game at the Gabba. It is going to be Brisbane and Geelong. It is going to be 3rd versus 5th. It is going to be a cracker of a game. Brisbane are in 3rd, Geelong are in 5th. And look, this game is huge for ladder position in terms of where these two clubs will finish. Now, Brisbane, if they if they get the win here, which most expect they will, if they do get the win, they can draw the gap on top 2 and get closer, especially should Port lose. Now, if Geelong win, however, they get closer to making the top 4. Brisbane get drawn back a little bit, and then you probably think from here, especially the amount of games Geelong still have remaining at GMHBA Stadium, you think they probably make finals. From there, and especially because they've still got some easier clubs as well and very winnable games. They do have some tough games, but very winnable, and they should be able to win most of their games. So I think this will be a really good game, and Brisbane and Geelong, it's 2 huge clubs battling it out. I think Brisbane are the better of the size, and they get them in by 14 points here. But look, this one could go either way. There's going to be stars on show everywhere in that game. Talking about stars on show, well, this is 2 star teams of the competition this year on show on the Saturday night in Port Adelaide and Collingwood at the Adelaide Oval. It is second versus first. And this is going to be one of the games of the year, and this is about as big as it gets. Port Adelaide are in second, Collingwood are in first, and Port Adelaide, well, their streak is gone, 13 and done. And Collingwood, well, they're on a roll. A 10-goal term against Freo last week was what they needed to win the game, and they did a really good job in doing so. Now, there's going to be stars, I'm sure, everywhere. The Dacos brothers, you've got Pendlebury, you've got Maynard, you've got, look, I'm not going to name all the stars. Then for Port Adelaide, you've got Butters, Rosie. There's just tons on show everywhere. So I'm not going to go through them all because it's not necessary. But look, stars on show everywhere. It is going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be a huge game. And this could, even though it's second versus first, and Port Adelaide are like tons of percentage and a game behind Collingwood, still could very well decide who goes first or who finishes first on the ladder. Now, Port Adelaide need the win here, so then they can really, because, you'd be assuming that Brisbane will win in the other game, even though nothing is confirmed, but they are the favourites, and, Brisbane are the favourites in the other game, so they do need to win this game just to try and keep on getting those wins and keep on getting clear of Brisbane. They've got a showdown to follow, so it is a very tough, and then Geelong to follow that in Geelong, so very tough next couple of weeks. So, look, this game becomes huge. Now, I think Port Adelaide get the job done in a really good game. I think they win the game by 4 points in what will be a cracking game of footy. Now, the second Saturday night game, and it's another cracker on the Saturday night. This time, an elimination final in Perth. It is Fremantle versus Sydney 15th. Well, Freo are in 15th, Sydney are in 14th. And boy, this is going to be a very good game. Now, Freo didn't play too badly against Collingwood, just one bad slip-up. Well, one bad quarter of footy is all Collingwood need to put you away, and that's exactly what happened. And Sydney, they celebrated coach John Longmire's 500th game as a coach from play and 300th game as a coach in some good style, and it was a very good win over another fellow contender in the Western Bulldogs. Now, in Perth, it's not easy to play Freo, but look, I still do think Sydney go over there and get the win by 12 points, but whoever loses this game won't be making finals. Considering Sydney were in the grand final last year, they still have a very tough fixture to come, and Freo still do as well. So I couldn't see both these two sides making finals anyway, but if you want to still be a chance, you have to win this game. And I think Sydney will by 12. So now to the first of the 3 Sunday games, probably the pick of the Sunday games. It's interesting because these are 3 Sunday games which could be really boring or really interesting or just your average game. Now, first game is GWS versus Gold Coast at Manuka Oval, a place where GWS have had their struggles in the past. They haven't been able to win at Manuka Oval in quite some time. But this presents as one which they should win, and if they want to make finals, realistically, they have to knock off fellow contenders. They have to knock off a fellow contender in the Gold Coast Suns, and they could finish the round in the 8 if they win this game. So there's a fair bit on the line for the Giants, and for the Suns, same too. They need to win this game if they want to be any chance of making finals, especially considering their run home isn't easy. They've still got Brisbane, they've still got Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval, so they've still got some very tough sides still to come as well. Now, look, I think the safe tip here is obviously the Giants. I've gone the Giants. I think they're too good, too strong. I think they win by 16. I've been impressed with their year, and I think they win the game by 16 points. But yeah, this one could be interesting. And look, the Giants coming off of a great win over Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval, so there's huge confidence there. And I think that's why they'll get the job done. Now the Sunday Channel 7 game is Melbourne versus Adelaide at the MCG, and well, this is huge. Adelaide have to win this game for their year. If their year is to stay, if finals are still a thing, if finals are still a achievable, and yeah, finals are still achievable, and finals are still a want, which obviously they have to be. They're still in that contention. They have to win this game or next game, the showdown. Otherwise, then you're pretty much leaving it up to Brisbane at the Gabba, which is a near impossible task. But look, the last time travelled to the MCG against Collingwood, they weren't too bad, but last week against the Giants, it wasn't great. And Melbourne, well, last week against Brisbane, what a win it was. And look, I think if their scoring's back on track here and their defence is really good, I think all three areas of the ground are ticks at the moment. I think they win this game comfortably by 29. Could be more, could be less. Interesting to see. Final game of the round, St Kilda versus North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. And look, it's not a great end to the round. It's a 50-50 game, but it's probably one which isn't going to excite a lot of people. And look, the way the last game turned out, it's going to be anything like that. It'll be really boring. St Kilda 6th, North Melbourne 17th. Now, St Kilda absolutely have to grab the 4 points here. If they lose to North Melbourne, and if they lose, they're not going to make finals. And even if they win this game, they still might not make finals anyway. They've been really disappointing for the last 9 or so rounds, or 10 or so rounds, and I think they get the win because North have been really disappointing last week. Only scored 40, but look, this is probably going to be a low scoring game, but I think the Saints win by 31 because I just feel like they're the better team. So we'll go through my predictions now. So we've got the Western Bulldogs by 13, Richmond by 32, Carlton by 110, Brisbane by 14, Port Adelaide by 4, Sydney by 12, GWS by 16, Melbourne by 29, and St Kilda by 31. Now to the ladder. This is what the ladder's looking like going into the round. So here it is here going into the round. Keep this in mind. But yeah, we're going to go and have a look at the ladder, what I think with the tipping scores, what it'll be after the round. So, of course, there's going to be some activity on the ladder, and, well, compared to how it looked just before, there is definitely activity indeed. Now, Port Adelaide draw closer to Collingwood again with their win. Brisbane move up into third, comfortable with Melbourne in fourth. And then from here, really, again, it's just anyone's game. It'll be, 2 wins from 5th to 14th, and that's probably the contenders left. But again, though, I reckon it's probably from here a live chance from 5 to 12. But it'll be St Kilda in 5th, with the Dogs and the Giants all equal as well. So 5th, 6th and 7th. The Cats in 8th, equal with Carlton and Richmond. But again, though, if Geelong lose more percent and Carlton gain more percent, or if Geelong lose more percent, it could be Carlton and Geelong switched around. And then we've got Richmond in 10th, who don't have the greatest percentage. Essendon slide all the way down to 11th. So the loser of the Dogs-Dons game is going to be huge. That's going to slide. They're probably going to be the biggest sliders of the round. And then Sydney in 12th, Adelaide and Gold Coast in 13th and 14th. Fremantle probably done in 15th. And then Hawthorn 16th, North 17th, and West Coast 18th. Now to the gold medal race, we have Charlie Curnow currently in front on 51. He's going to be the main man in Carlton's forward line, so he probably wins it from here, but Taylor Walker on 50, also a good possibility. And then we've got in third, Tom Hawkins on 45, and in fourth, Nick Larkey on 45 as well. Huge round of footy coming up. We have some monster games. It's going to be a monster round, and of course now we are getting to the point end of the year where every game, every bit of percentage is critical. So feel free to let me know your thoughts for round 19 in the comment section. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. See you guys in the next video on the channel. Thank you guys so much. And subscribe, everyone. Flame Footy out.